What's going on, T Squad? It's your boy Demetrius, and we are back for season 3, episode 2 of Reality. And today, I don't have my fantastic co-host Carmela, and I miss you so much. But I'm blessed to have Kitty Miller, Ashley Danielle, and Paris Parker. And today, we're going to talk about a topic that I have no experience in, but I'm going to talk about from experience from my parents. We're going to talk about marriage, parenting versus like new age and old age, of how people, how our parents raised us, and how they parent us, and how they were married, and what you guys saw, and versus to what you guys doing today. They all have children. Kudos to them, because that is some shit I don't want. And congrats to the marriage life. But unfortunately, Ashley is divorced, so we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that too. But first, I want to talk about like marriage. So like, is married life exactly like what you guys planned it for it to be?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Absolutely not.
How old were you when you got married?
I was 20.
20?
20 years
You
old.
didn't even enjoy your life, girl.
I could enjoy life with my husband. That's what I'm doing now.
But no, like the 20s for you to grow and learn yourself.
I learned myself with my husband.
I was 23.
But that's a little bit more years though. But still,
3
though,
years?
like,
What's 3
but
years compared
it's not.
to
But
what?
it's not. But still though. But like your 20s, like you didn't want to learn like who Paris was before she became Paris Parker.
I think she already knew.
I know. I mean, I had 18 years to figure that out.
That's still young though. You're still a child.
I mean, well, we grew up together.
Okay.
And I like
you
it.
do grow up together.
Yeah.
Still. You could be 26 and you still gonna have to grow when
How old
you
was
get
he?
married. He was 21.
Okay.
He's 1 year older.
So like when you got married, was it like a traditional thing? Like was it, you know?
Very much so traditional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like church and all that.
We actually did not get married at church. We got married at the old place. It's a big white building
Okay.
in Goshen.
Okay.
So that's where we got married at. But we had, the priest officiate the wedding and stuff.
Were your parents married?
No, my parents were not married.
So,
my mom is married to my little sister's dad. So they never were married. She never married my dad.
Were your parents married? Okay. So like, how did that be able to break the mold of that for you guys to get married?
I mean,
You know what you want, and then
Yeah.
you go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what you want, then you just do it. It doesn't really matter
absolutely.
what your parents did. And honestly, like, not having a complete family may push you to want to have that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Do you fear that you might have those same steps like your parents?
no.
Yeah.
Because my mama was 15. It's a completely different
Oh,
story.
that's
My
a
mama was
child.
15 when she
There
had
you
me.
go.
Oh.
It was like,
My mom was 15 when she had my sister.
like them getting married. I mean, she couldn't even get married.
Yeah. My mom was 17. My mom was 17 when she had me. So yeah, that was like the question.
Yeah. So it's really a completely different story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, what about marriage life? Okay, like if you had to give me one thing off the top of your dome right now about marriage life that you absolutely enjoy, what is it?
Always having somebody there.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Companionship.
Yeah.
The companionship.
So that
like
do you feel like you need somebody?
No, I don't feel like I need anybody.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But that's companionship. Though.
But I don't know. I don't
But
feel like
it's
I
not
need anybody.
needed.
It's an add-on.
And
Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference between a need and a deep want.
Yeah.
It's like, and I think that's an issue sometimes when it comes to like dating. Sometimes like men may sometimes want to feel like you need them.
But you don't.
Well, I don't, but I really, really, really want you forever.
Yes.
Can that be enough that I want you until we die?
Yeah.
Like,
That's pretty much how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because you kind of have to have some type of line like, hey, better make sure you do right because this might not last.
So
You
like
know.
in the marriage life, if you had to compare, well, I'm feel like I'm skipping over you
I'm
because,
good.
but you know,
I was enjoying listening.
but I want to talk about like when you got married, like did you have any fears?
You have fears that it may not work out, especially because, like, I guess we were young and you do have to evolve and grow.
Yeah.
Like, you do know yourself at that time, but myself when I was 23 is completely different from me now,
Yeah.
How old are you?
being 29.
29.
I'm 26 now.
35.
And when you got married?
I was 26, I want to say. I was 25 or 26. I don't
Okay. So did you so when you got married, you were a little bit older than both of
Mhm.
them. So how was that
Yeah,
for
I
you?
got married and finished grad school on the same day.
Mhm.
Like, literally. So I turned in my last paper that morning, and we got married at 5.
Yeah.
So like you guys think like how people say like, oh, I went to 30 to get married, blah blah. Y'all don't
I
agree
never
with
had
that?
those thoughts.
Mm-mm.
My friends even joke sometimes, like, Ashley was made to be a wife out the womb. Like,
Really?
just it's in me. It's just in me.
So why are you not a wife now?
Because I'm making sure that I'm making a good decision.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And I knew that I wanted to be a wife. I knew I wanted a husband.
Yeah. But
Like,
I know
you
you
knew,
for quite some
baby.
time,
Yeah.
and you always had like a very healthy relationship, even through college. Like I see that. I didn't think that you guys were not gonna get married.
Yeah, but like I said, I knew that I wanted to be a wife, and just because we dated while I was in college, first of all, we started dating the Wednesday before classes started.
Mm-hmm.
Because while I was in high school, I had a roster, okay? And you're gonna get scratched off their
The
roster.
roster.
This is the
You're
draft.
not meeting the husband
Man,
material.
we had the draft going
So
on.
it was very much like,
Okay, they lined up
Sought
since high
out.
school.
yes.
like,
They've been lined up since high school.
And he knows that.
Mhm.
Like,
And
we
we
went
made
to
the
the
final
same
pick.
high school.
mm-hmm.
We're not dating. So one day I might be walking down the hall with somebody else. One
Mhm.
day I might be eating lunch with somebody else. I might leave with
I
somebody
love
else.
that though, and I think
But-
that is why you were able to get married.
And I
younger,
think
'cause you
everybody
did
should
that.
do that. Any single person, I tell them,
I
you need
did
to
it,
date.
baby.
I did it.
I
and
did
think
it.
it's
You need to
because of
date.
that.
I dated a few.
The problem
At the
is
same
that
time.
people find one person and then they get so committed without seeking other people. And
Yeah.
that's where they end up
Yeah.
Yeah.
not finding the husband or whatever because they just get stuck on them. No, you need to date.
Yeah.
I ain't
Like,
never
really
been
date.
Right.
Like-
that's what I was really getting at. Like, did you like?
Yeah,
you know,
she did.
in high
you date-
school.
yeah.
Absolutely, baby.
But I also feel
You gotta
like
know
high
who I
school is such a
was.
young space.
Well,
like
when I was in
mine.
high school, my boyfriend was in college,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like
What?
it was
When he was
a
a freshman,
different.
he was in college.
When I was a freshman, he was a senior.
Okay.
So
okay.
he graduated, and
Right.
then he went off to college. So then my sophomore year, he was in college.
Mhm.
Then the guy I dated in 11th grade was also in college.
Mhm.
I dated a couple of people in high school, but it was always
But do you,
Older.
Yeah.
but you always had a very much mature standpoint. With
always
yourself, right?
Yeah, I even, for example, even the little boyfriend I had in 8th grade, I remember his mom told us, like, in front of him, she looked at me and was like, I think you too mature for my baby. I don't think he ready for you. He's sitting there like, Ma! And she's like, I don't think this gonna work. But she's like, I love you, but he just a
He's
child.
not ready for Ashley Danielle.
It was just, but like, yeah, I always had like a very concrete view, and not even a view. I never had a fairy tale view of marriage.
You don't have abstract thinking.
Never had. Well, I do. Like, I do have that because I'm the most optimistic person in the world. The world is
Yeah.
rainbows and unicorns. My world is.
But when I say abstract thinking, I mean you don't just think about. You don't have the flight of ideas. You don't think about.
No, I have a very realistic
right.
idea of life and relationships and
Mhm.
stuff. So I think I was able to see very early on, like, this is what a marriage actually would be. And I always just had that partnership mindset. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be with somebody who, like, we in this thing.
Mhm.
Like, this is my rider right here. And if I don't get that kind of feeling, we're not doing this.
So with you having like 2 married friends and you being divorced, and I know you have
I had a
multiple
bunch
other
of married friends.
So how does that make you feel? Like, do you feel like, oh, I wish I had that companionship, or do you like, oh, like, you know, want to do cute double dating, triple dating? Like, do you wish you had that at times?
I guess I can say I'm not too. I don't miss like the double dating aspect of it and stuff, and hanging out as couples, because one, I know men do not like to be. Most men don't like having play dates scheduled for them.
Mm-hmm.
If that's their friend, that's different. But like, so I'm not really that. And most of my friends don't live here. The majority of the people I've known the longest in life don't live in my city, so that's not something I would see anyway. Now the companionship, of course, like I absolutely miss that. I am such an affectionate, just like emotional person. So
What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Libra.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, we we a little different.
Very air sign.
We're
very-
a little different when you think about like very sensual, emotional people.
Virgo.
Virgo.
Definitely.
Can't you
Def-
tell?
There you
definitely
go.
Earth.
Crossing off the list.
Definitely, definitely earth tones.
I'm gonna let y'all guess.
Aquarius.
I'm Aquarius.
Yeah. Bubbly,
Because she
fun.
said I'm gonna let y'all guess.
Right.
That's
Water.
the giveaway.
Water, baby.
Flow
Flow,
with the-
flow,
yeah.
river, flow.
Oh Lord, juicy, honey.
So
It
definitely
is.
the companionship side.
Say
Like,
what?
so definitely the companionship side. But I also date though.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
So-
do. And you have been on a double date
What is
with me.
what is dating like
I
in the
did
divorce
go with it.
world?
Dating's ghetto. It's so ghetto, but like it's interesting because people who I've dated, like a couple of people I've dated since I've been divorced, are people who I've known since I was like in high school.
Yeah.
But you have to realize the versions of ourselves that we knew when we were kids, these
Right.
totally different people now.
Right.
So it's been fun, like rediscovering some of the
Yeah.
same people
And seeing where they are
as
now
an
in
adult.
life.
Yeah, that's been good, but the focus is different. Like you said, I have children. Sometimes they have children.
Yeah.
And that, so you date, like, I think when you date before you have kids, you're thinking, would this person make a great partner when raising kids?
Right.
But when raising hypothetical children that don't exist, when you already have kids and you're dating, I'm looking at your personality and I know my son's personality. Do they match? Yeah. So that's different than if
I never
you're
even thought about it that way.
because we're thinking like we have an actual person and you're meeting a man and looking at, the way he speaks, the way he handles things, or if he's talking about his family and his upbringing and stuff, and you like, nah, that ain't gonna work. Or you're like, oh, it's like you have an actual person to measure it against.
So with you now dating, like, how many red flags does it take for you to be like, okay, I'm not doing this?
It's different.
Okay.
And maybe I literally just stopped, when does this podcast air? Literally just stopped dating somebody Sunday.
Okay.
And like we just kind of came to the decision, like, you know what, it's just not gonna keep working. So, but I think there were a lot, and I don't want red flags to come up like they're a bad person. Red flag might just mean it didn't mesh with what your belief system or something. So there were a few red flags, like even before we went out, and because I kept saying no, like, no, we don't need to go on a date. We don't need to go on a date. This ain't gonna work. This is not gonna happen. And some kind of way, he just finessed himself on it.
And you went against your better judgment.
He finessed his way in there, and that first date was amazing. That was like the cutest, perfect little textbook first date. It was adorable. And I remember leaving it like, I think I'm in a bit of a pickle here. And it just, so it's like he probably got more chances than a few other people who I have dated, because like we had known each other so long and we had so many other things in common that it made some of the other red flags like, yeah, we'll just slide into the side.
Well, like I had a friend and then she was telling me all these negative things about this dude that she had met. She was saying like how like he really ain't got no job.
That's a no.
Right. He really ain't got no job. He got a wonky car. He like basically had like this big belief about how he should be like dominant and be like the man, and like the kids should follow his rules, nobody else. And she's still dating him, and I'm like, you have kids yourself.
Yeah, that's a problem.
It's a big problem. It's a little bit delusional for me, but you can continue to do that. But I feel like, I think when it comes to me, like when dating and like getting married, like I look like any red flag, I'm automatically like, nope, like I can't do it.
I can't do that.
I can't do it.
Because I know that I have red flags probably that a man has seen, and he might be like, because several things probably. He's like, no, I can't handle that, but has kept going because, I mean, everybody gonna have a couple of red flags. It's
right, because nobody's perfect.
But I only cut people off for deal breakers. Like,
exactly, a red flag and a deal breaker is not the same thing.
And still great.
Close to it.
And I think, but that's what she just said. Like, you need to establish what your deal breakers are. Like,
everybody's gonna have
this
red
is
flags.
a deal breaker.
Okay, but like my deal breakers are red flags. So like, yeah.
You need to redo your
So, but when it comes
if
to
you
like,
want to not be single, you might
right. I'd rather be the rich uncle. Can I just be that?
And I'm not. I don't give rich auntie. Well, my thing is I'm both. I'm still the rich auntie. I'm gonna be the rich auntie with a husband.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
It's good to have both.
Right. Okay.
balance.
Period.
Libra ain't get the balance.
Libra.
But I want to talk about the good. You said all good. I'm sorry.
You
said all good things about marriage. So I know there gotta be some bad things about marriage.
Oh, we say all good things now.
You was. I mean, y'all.
I didn't say that.
Cause you asked.
I mean,
You said what was good about marriage. Maybe my memory gonna come.
So what do y'all like? If you felt like does the bad outweigh the good?
No.
Okay. So, but the bad times, are they bad, or do you feel like
This is what I always tell people before they get married. If they ask me, because I'm just give free advice. But I'm just kidding.
It's the counselor.
it's revving up, baby?
I'm kidding. But I don't like to give people advice when they don't ask for it, because it can shake things up. But I always tell people, when you get married, your love intensifies and the fights or disagreements intensify. But you just have to be willing to get through it. Because I'm telling you, when I said I do, it was like something came over my body and it was like, dang, like this is for real.
Yeah.
And like my love for him grew, but like our arguments changed. Like, and then we were very traditional. We didn't move in until after we got married.
Same.
So at one point I was like, dang, he really don't go home. Like, And for me, the first year was the hardest year trying to figure out what we were gonna do, how to live together, and
you're blending two lifestyles.
it's just like, no, I don't like that, and you need to clean up. Like,
oh my God. I feel like the second year was the hardest for me.
The first one for me.
I think because the first is probably like lovey-dovey, you so happy.
And it was lovey-dovey. But you also, in your first year, you didn't have a child.
No,
My first year, I was pregnant. So it's like all the butterflies, all good things. I'm gonna have a baby. So when second year hit and I had the baby, it was like, oh my God, you don't want to change this diaper? I mean, are you help? Do I really want to be married to you? You're not even helping me. But that changed quickly.
I think for me, when it comes to my parents, like I said, I can't speak about me for marriage, but my parents, they were married. I was at the wedding. I was on my dad's side, and like my mom was shaking. She was crying. They like kissed or whatever, and they said, "I do," blah blah. But they've been together. They were together 10 years prior to this, and then I was, and I was married. And they were like next door neighbors. I mean, basically like common law married. And basically, like she graduated in 1990 from Blunt. He graduated from Viger.
Go Leopards.
Literally, like. Next door.
I had to throw that in there. Guess we can do wolf packs too.
Go Panthers.
Well,
I went to LaFleur. So
that's cool.
Not LaFleur.
Yeah.
Not that new logo.
Don't tell your back to the parents.
But I was saying, when they were like next door neighbors, like literally my mom, my dad's mom, and they knew each other, and they grew up together, and they just always had like a really good, like healthy relationship. And I'll never forget when I was in middle school, I was talking to my best friend at the time in 8th grade. Was in the locker room. It was a Friday, and I said, "Oh," he said, "What you doing this weekend?" I said, "Oh, me and my mom and dad are going out to we're going to the movies and going out to eat, doing regular stuff like we do." He said, "Oh, okay." I said, "What you doing? What you doing with your mom and dad?" And he's like, "I don't know my dad." I said, "You don't know your daddy? Like, how you know your dad?" And he was like, "I don't know my dad." And then I went home. I was like, "Cameron said he don't know his daddy. Like, how you don't know his dad?" I thought everybody had like their mom and dad together. My mom was like, "Well,
I got a story to come after this.
You made it all the way to 8th grade?
Yeah, literally.
No, I got one for you. When me and Brandon started dating, we started hanging out like in the 11th grade year, 12th grade, beginning of 12th grade. And he was like telling me about his family and stuff like that. And I was just like, okay. He was like, yeah, my dad. He kept saying my dad and my daddy. So I'm like, y'all look alike? Like, what? Your dad? And he was like, so y'all live together? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that's probably not your dad. Like, your mama probably told you that was your dad, but that's not your daddy. And because in my reality and where I'm from, people don't have daddies,
right.
And I'm just like, that ain't your daddy. Even seeing this man and they look alike, I'm like, yeah, that's not your daddy. And it took like I am grown, like well, maybe that is your daddy. But basically the same experience because you do go out like what you saw, and I told him that was not his daddy.
I was the opposite, like running into my best friend. Now we met this first day of school, 6th grade. The fact that her parents were still together was mind blowing to me. Like that's your real daddy?
Yeah, that's what me.
Like, and that was my thing. It was really like, and I didn't think it was because I've had my stepdad. My mom and my stepdad started dating when I was 4. They got married when I was 6. Like, that's my daddy, my whole life. So, but my biological dad, like, he used to be around, kind of, sort of, but we have a relationship or whatever. Yeah. But we would go, like, long periods of time. Like, I think I saw him, like, twice in elementary school, and then, like, once in middle school, and then he showed up at my graduation from high school. Like, we don't have that kind of relationship. So, when I had friends, but it was only a few, like, a handful of my friends' actual biological parents were still together. And I guess, I mean, like, I know, it's not even a guess. I know that impacted how I view marriage. I know my parents relate, my mom and my stepdad. I think it's the first time I've said stepdad in my life. But, like, I know their relationship impacted how I saw marriage because I really was thoughtful about if we have kids in the future.
Right. Like,
how is this going to work out? Of course, it didn't work out. But I say this all the time. People always know. Like, me and my ex-husband, like, it was an awful marriage, like ha. But he is like super dad.
That's good.
He is obsessed with our kids. He breeds those children.
And that's good. At least you were able, because we spoke about it last time, remember, specifically, one of the members that was on the podcast with me, she said, why do females let them continue to get, ejaculated in if they are not going to be with somebody? Why would you have sex with a man that you don't want to marry?
Yeah.
Like, do you believe, like, like when y'all were dating y'all husbands, and you too, like, were you thinking like, I could really see myself marrying this man?
Yes.
When you were like sexually active with him and everything.
I wasn't sexually active until I got married.
I was gonna say.
Okay. Yeah.
So
how would that change
that? I was sexually active before.
Yeah.
Back in the day. But yeah, like that wasn't really something
you thought about.
Yeah.
So for you had sex after you got married. So like, what was like you waited that entire time?
Yeah.
How? Yeah.
I was a virgin. I made a promise to God and myself that I was gonna keep it in there until I got married. I went the biblical route.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you right? It is
I saved
good.
myself for marriage for my husband. What is wrong with you?
She said that's good. That's nice.
But do you feel like that was something that you felt like you were so different from than everybody else?
I mean, yeah, because all my friends they was getting down. They was telling me about it. I'm like, I don't know what the hell you talking about. Because I don't do that. So I can relate.
So she just,
just sitting there. I'm just a fly on the wall, baby. I don't know what you're talking about. So, yeah. But it wasn't difficult because I never did it. I know what I was missing out on.
Yeah.
And when I met my husband, I met him when I was in 11th grade. We dated. And I told him, I was like, hey, we going to get married. And he was like, what? I said, we going to get married. One day.
You knew that.
I mean, I told him that. I don't know if I knew that at the time, but I think I kind of like spoke it up. Like, because then he came. Power
in the tongue. Power in the tongue.
I think I like spoke it up because I have the text messages still on my phone from our Facebook messages. And I told him, I said, hey, he's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm just daydreaming. He's like, daydreaming about what? I was like, our wedding.
I saw that.
What else? And he was like, what it's going to look like? I was like, we're going to get married on the beach. We're going to have all this list of names. And I still ain't do it. We got married. But
my great grandma told me I was going to marry Brand.
Your grandpa?
My great grandma.
Oh, well, that was brought down by the ancestors.
I was like,
right.
There you go.
Because I was dating somebody else and I was like,
That's when it's really real.
Right.
They like,
When
we don't even care about that little dude you talking to.
that's basically what she said.
When are you going to get him out of the way?
Sorry, you know me. So you were really close with your mom, like.
I'm close to both of my parents, but I'm more close to my mom. Yeah.
Right. We spoke about mostly your mother.
Mm-hmm.
So like you being close with your mom, like do you feel like you do the parenting of how your mom parents you? Do you feel like you relate in that way with her? Like how your mom parents you? Are you parenting your children that way? How many kids do you have, by the way?
Similar.
How many?
I have 2 kids, 2 boys, 5 and 2.
Okay. Do you feel like you parent them similar to your mom, or do you have your differences?
We have some similarities and we have some differences.
What similarities?
The similarities are just like teaching them about God, religion, and just being able to be an active listener as a parent instead of feeling like everything I say right. So we got some similarities and we got some differences.
So your mother made sure that everything she says is right.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So do you? I mean,
highway.
That's a genuinely a black mother thing.
It was her way or highway. I mean, and for me, I am a parent that apologizes to my child. Like, okay, mommy was wrong. Mommy OD'd for a little minute. So let me come back to you and apologize to you.
I would never forget my great aunt. I spent the night over there, and my cousin, he's like 3 years older than me. Whatever. We played video games and stuff growing up. She cussed that boy out so bad. Like, I mean, calling him bees, everything, all that stuff like that. And she did not say, I'm sorry. I went home. I said, I want to go home tonight. And I went home, and I told my mom, I said, I ain't say fuck. I said, freak auntie, her name, blah, 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 because she was so wrong to, I don't want to say people's names, but he was so wrong to him. Like, that was so mean. And my mama called her, and she cussed her out because she said it was not right, blah, 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 like that. My mama is psycho. But but I think she ended up like apologizing to him. But it was just to me like, why would you not apologize to your child? The way you just talked to me, you degraded me. I'm your child.
And I don't call my kids out of their name.
Right.
Like I don't do that at all. It never goes that far. But if I'm doing something and Colin come pulling my mom, I'm like, Colin, give me a minute. Like I will apologize for that because I'm overstimulated. But then I just tore you down because you came to me excited to tell me something.
Right.
So, ooh, baby, I'm so sorry.
I love that self-awareness.
Yeah.
She's like, this, I'm overstimulated. That wasn't even about you.
That's how it should be.
I have two. I have a 7 and 8 year old boy and a girl.
Okay.
Well, the girl's the oldest. And yeah, we have my family just, it has taken them a while and they're still getting used to the way that I parent because it's so different from everybody else that they just like.
And I want to say this to you because we were at an event together and your daughter was like, Mommy, I don't like this. And you was like, oh, baby, that's okay. At least you tried it. But some people be like, eat it. You're going to eat it right now. You know, some parents be like, you better eat that since you just grabbed it. Because she let her know. She's like, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to like that, baby.
And we
just
had that conversation. This just happened again. We'll be at a restaurant and like my daughter, we were at a Mexican restaurant. She ordered something she hadn't ordered before. And she tasted it and she didn't really like it. But she didn't say anything.
But you could tell.
I could tell she didn't like it. So I'm asking her, like, what's wrong? And she was like, I was like, you don't like it? And she's like, no. I said, we can order you something else. It's fine. Like, you didn't know you weren't going to like it.
But some parents was bad.
Exactly.
No, it wasn't like that
you
when I was
my
growing
money.
up.
Like, you
no,
need to eat that.
even like at an event, like in somebody's event, and your child comes up to you, and like the people that are throwing the event around, and they're like, I don't like this. You know, some parents would probably be like, oh my God, why would you say that in front of them?
Right.
No, she didn't. She handled that perfectly, and that's how I would want to handle
that's how
stuff.
she feels.
Yeah, and that's good though. Because
like
my mom would have been like, you should have got it.
Well, I think if you go to a restaurant, if I go to a restaurant and I order something and I don't like it, I'm sitting in the back.
Yeah.
So I let my kids
But
do the same thing.
I know.
And that's what people don't understand is that kids have feelings too.
No, but you taught me something that day about saying stuff in front of people. My kids saying stuff in front of people. I don't have to go down my children's throat about saying something in front of somebody. That was a good way to handle that.
Thank you.
So you don't know this, but I caught that.
And she's like, I do that now. and also, like, I feel like that if my children say something,
you don't like it, baby, it was nasty.
I'm like, you don't like it, and I just politely be like, okay, we're not gonna. I know we now know not to get that again.
Yeah.
Because you don't like it. And like, especially in an event, that was a baby shower.
Yeah.
And my thing is, and it was a very nice, elegant baby
very,
shower.
very
it was
elegant.
amazing.
Very
But, so it was a lot of foods kids had never tried before too. It was my stuff my grown self had never tried before.
Yeah.
So if you have this big display and they don't like it, it's just like something that simple should not cause us to blow up. And if you're blowing up, that's a issue. Like that has nothing to do with that kid.
Yeah.
And I'm real particular about how other people talk to
some parents will be embarrassed.
I was gonna say that. I was like, it's embarrassment. Don't disrespect
it's
me.
It's real hard to embarrass.
And I feel like parents should put their kids' feelings over
other
whoever
people.
event. Like
Absolutely.
my baby's feelings come before anybody.
I don't care nothing about your event. It's my child. Wait a second.
Right.
That's just not even a thing.
Your child said he don't like my biscuits. Oh well, he don't.
He don't like them, baby. They might be dry. You might want to tweak their recipe.
Josiah doesn't eat a lot. Like
picky eaters.
And my thing is, we still teach our kids to be polite. We still teach them, but sometimes they don't get it, and sometimes that's the first time that this has ever happened. And that's the learning moment for them too. That's the teaching moment for them where I'm like, okay, well, how about this? Next time, if you don't like it, just come tell me. Like, you don't have to say it real loud. Just come tell me, and I'll get you something else on your plate. Okay. Like, we don't have to make it
a scene
and snatch your child up by the
Right.
collar and
Why
stuff.
would you say that?
Right.
But I remember feeling like other people mattered more than I mattered when stuff like that happened, and I can't do that to my baby.
So that was done to you?
Well, not necessarily by. I can't remember my mom doing it, but I do remember like other
people,
adults doing that to me.
Yeah.
Like certain adults that can't be around my child because of
You
they
know how to
did
treat
it.
you.
Yeah.
I would say like because I feel like we have come a similar upbringing. Like from a lot of things we talked about just now. I feel like if I did something like that, that's why when I go out, like when I was younger with my parents, I didn't eat anything. We would eat before, or I would like not go, like because like I would just be like, I'm just gonna stay at home. My grandma play video games. I'm not even gonna be bothered with all the shenanigans because like my mom's side of the family is like crazy. Like literally, mom's side is all like gang, in jail,
Mhm.
like all this stuff like that.
Interesting.
And then
Okay.
my dad's side is like doctors and lawyers and all
Mhm.
that. I'm the first one on my mom's side to go to college, becoming like get a good job. So it's
Mhm.
very, very different. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm a happy medium. Like I can get like that, but I'm also very much like,
Mhm.
let's be a real housewife.
Yeah.
So, but I wanted to ask you, how old is your child? And how many
Two.
kids do you have?
One.
One. Okay. So how do you feel like? Do you relate to your mother or your father? How you would raise your child?
Well, I don't. My father didn't do nothing.
Okay.
So let's clear that up.
Okay.
But my mom worked a lot,
Mhm.
and like I
Yeah.
said, she was young. But the things that the way that she treated me was really, really strict. And as I got older, I realized the things that she did and how she raised me, was done because she didn't want me to turn out like her. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
My mom never believed anything that I said. Nothing. It was her way or the highway. It's this or nothing else. She wasn't gonna listen to me. I was telling somebody earlier, like one time I got in trouble, but I was learning how to drive, and I passed by our house when mom was saying stop. Well, nobody else in the car heard her say stop. So when I got out, she's all up in my face, yelling and cussing and fussing because in her mind I didn't stop
Mhm.
because I was not listening to her.
Mhm.
But she wouldn't even let me say, well, mama, nobody heard you. Like, we couldn't hear you. We're driving. Like, you were on the porch. And so it was nothing.
Oh,
like
she wasn't
that.
in the car.
No.
Oh, sorry. I thought she was in the vehicle.
But my mom wasn't letting me explain anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Mm.
Like,
Same here.
nothing. It's nothing.
Like there will be times I remember my mom would just be like, she would believe me about stuff like that. Like especially like school. Like I remember I had a big issue with this 8th grade science teacher, and she had like failed me, and I had told my mom and dad, I was like, my mom and dad know I don't fail classes. Like she gave me a 69. Like I went to Clark, 69 was an E. Like
I
you
went
failed.
to Phillips.
So I was like, I've never made a below like that. So like they just knew that wasn't me. So then I told them about it or whatever, and they like believe me. But it would just be things like, I wouldn't say not believing me part, but it would be like things I just don't do. Like my mom, she always comes down to me about dating people. She's like, why are you not dating? Why? I'm like, because I'm literally living my life. Then when I was in college, I didn't know how to drive until I graduated from Springer College.
Wow.
So she was like, you need to learn how to drive. People go to college, learn how to drive, and you meet friends like that. I was like, I'm chilling. Like I got friends who take me somewhere. Like it's okay. It'd just be things like that, and it'd be like, and I'm really like my mom because, like I said, my mom is the more like aggressive side. So like when she coming at me, I'm your child. I'm very much like we going toe to toe, but it's not in a disrespectful way. I'm very much because I'm a shady little bug. So like I'll be like, well, you should leave me alone because I don't want to go there with you, Miss Jones. And she'd be like, she want to set up, but it's very much like I'm doing it for banter. But if I have children, I don't want to like I'm not saying my mom was a bad parent at all. Like I was the only child. I had everything I wanted. I never heard the word no. Like if I told my grandma, I wanted $500 to go to a New Orleans trip for a field trip. She gave me $500 that morning. For like just going, but she called my dad and said I was going to New Orleans and I had to not go because they didn't know I was going. But my parents, they gave me everything, like literally everything. But if I have kids, I want to be able to be like that, understanding, listen to my child,
a respectful relationship.
Yeah.
Yes, and
because we should respect our kids.
Yes, like if they came and talk.
That's why with my child.
And that's why you can set those healthy boundaries with your parents now as an adult.
Yeah,
because my
as
mama
an adult,
tried.
great, easy peasy.
Yeah.
With your parents. When I was here though, when I stayed here on campus, we had the best relationship. Distance brings
love. That's what my mom
for me.
said. We lived because I went to South. And you can literally see the water tower that's in my parents' backyard, like from the library. Like we were that close. But I remember before classes started freshman year, my mom said I needed to live on campus because like I didn't care either way. I really didn't. And she's like, you need to live on campus. And I was like, why? She said, because 2 grown women can't live in this house. And she said, and you're gonna be grown, and I'm gonna still think you're my baby, and we're gonna get in arguments for no reason. So she's like, I'm just gonna take you to have yourself home. But I think that was so good for us because there was like I could see where probably some arguments could have happened. Keep in mind, I didn't grow up arguing with my mama like at all. It's not a thing that happened. But I could see where some stuff might have went different because we had differing opinions on the way stuff would have been handled. But even me living on campus, I still would like call my mom and be like, we going to Auburn for the weekend, or we going to, the bros having a party at fam, we going there or whatever. And my dad would tell my mama stuff most of college, my boyfriend went to Tuskegee. So not only did I go back and forth to Tuskegee all the time, my mom would let me take her car, leave my car here. And he what, you letting her go up there and stay with that boy? And my mama said, I'm not letting her do nothing. I'm happy she told me. She don't have to tell me nothing. So let's be happy that she told us and make sure she get there safely. Remember, she sent money with me one time to take him grocery shopping. She's like, is he good? He needs some groceries or whatever. But that was just the kind of mom she was, because she understood. I think my mom did a great job of understanding the transition between me being a child and me being her adult daughter. Yeah, she switched those very well.
I would say with my dad, when I got to college though, growing up, I was more like a mama's boy, and I thought my dad was a little too hard on me. Of course, your dad doing all this stuff, making you do all this stuff you don't want to do growing up. But when I got in college, my dad literally, he was all he said to me before I went, text me when you wake up, text me when you go to class, text me when you make it to your room, text me when you that's all he wanted to know, was I safe? He ain't asked me nothing else. I could have went, like you said, I'm going to FAMU, across Sigma. I'm going to FAMU. I text him, I'm going to FAMU this weekend. Who you going with? So and so. How long y'all staying? This time. Who driving? This. Okay.
They didn't ask me that many questions.
No, that was it. But that was it though. They want to know what I'm doing. That was it.
Yeah.
And I can respect that. I really like that.
That's good.
Yeah. I feel comfortable with that.
My mama had a really good transition too, from childhood to adulthood. It was a good switch, kind of like that.
I think it was almost like an exhale for them a little bit. They almost felt like some of our parents were waiting for us to grow up. Whew.
Right.
Whew, they grown. Okay.
And I think my mama just was strict, like I said, because she didn't want me to make the decisions that she made. But once she realized, okay, honestly, she had me at 15. Honestly, by the time I was 17,
she was good.
Yeah.
She didn't want that. She didn't want the 15 thing. Her 15, yeah.
I really think that's what it was.
That makes sense.
But I can see that going. Sorry.
What? You just look like
she was processing.
Yeah. I'm processing.
Oh, okay.
I feel like
I'm thinking about my own stuff. I'm like, my mama, we didn't really transition.
Yeah.
She's like, you still say.
No, because she was cool. When I was in high school, we had a few arguments. It wasn't all bad. But the arguments would be more so me wanting to go somewhere. Our dynamics may be different because I had a little sister. My mom was in school in her master's program, so it was I was the mama. Yeah.
So that was my oldest, and I'm the baby.
See, I'm
the baby.
So I was the reason, you viewed your little sister how my oldest sister saw me, because there was a lot of stuff she couldn't go to.
Yeah, I used to get my little sister dressed in the morning, take her to school,
comb
pick
her hair.
up.
I cooked dinner.
I cook dinner now. My mama still does.
I cook dinner.
I know my sister cooked dinner a lot. So,
but I still got, like you said, everything I wanted, I got it. Everything I needed, I got it. Gas money, here you go. Yeah. I didn't have to work a job. So that was another thing. I didn't even work a job until I got married.
I didn't work a job until I graduated. From college, my grandma was like, you don't ever have to work. And then she passed away when I graduated high school. My life was over. Oh my God, I thought it was over. I literally remember the funeral, and I just sat there, and I was like, I called her by first name. I was like, that's my Juanita, that's my Juanita. I just thought my life was over. I really honestly didn't think I was going to even make it to this point. Because, not saying that my parents raised me, but my grandma, weekend, over there. Holidays, over there. So, I think this is my second mom, so I lost a mom.
Yeah. That's how it is.
So do you feel like, when y'all having kids, do you feel like, are you fearful of the arguments and the bouts that y'all may have? Because even though y'all may raise and right, their kids can still stir wrong.
Yeah.
I've never had an argument with my mom though. We never, before she passed.
But your child is different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm not fearful of it because I've never even experienced that, and my sisters didn't either. Me and my sisters don't argue, and people think that's insane because it's just not. I've never.
But you're very zen.
I'm so.
But then your kid, your kids' personalities when they're little, their personalities
show
change
though.
Not that much.
Yeah. Well, because I've been my sisters even say all the time, so much of who I am right now. They I was like this when I was 6.
Yeah, so their
personality
personalities
I was like this
develop.
when I was younger.
And I'm real zen, but I'm still very bossy in a way or whatever. And I've been that way, so it's I think worrying about, you know, us getting into arguments and things like that. I think I don't worry about it because I know what pushes my kids' buttons.
Exactly.
And I think our parents or certain parents they also knew what pushed our button. They just pushed it anyway. They knew it
wasn't any boundary.
There was no. They were the
boundaries.
parent,
Right.
And
they knew
you
good
were
whether
a
they
child.
said this. I was gonna respond
You don't
this
have
way.
no nerves. Y'all heard that you're a
Right.
child. You don't have no nerves.
So
like
it's no reason to be scared.
Yeah.
It's no reason to be scared. It's just, if anything, I feel more prepared to have an argument with my child. Like, if they get to that point.
Like, let's just talk. We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even like my son, because like I have real bad anxiety. Like that's how I got into the whole yoga life, because I have real bad anxiety attacks. And my son, God bless him, I feel like he does as well. And there'll be times where he's just like, he can't get it together. And I will just sit him on the floor and sit him right in front of me. And I sit there, I'm like, babe, okay, let's talk. Let's do it. Sometimes I put him in my lap, straddle me, like, what's happening? And he can't get his words together. He's like, I don't know. I can't. I say, it's okay. You don't have to know. It's fine. It's all right. I was like, do you know? And so I'll start naming things. One, what was it? I forgot what I was watching, and somebody, she said, she started asking her son, do you need a hug or do you want to punch a wall? And it helped her identify which emotion he needed from her. Do you need to be comforted or are you angry? Like, what's the issue or whatever? And I started asking my son that. So I'll start asking him like little questions to figure out like what's happening and whatnot. That's something I didn't get as a child. And I think I was expected to know all of my feelings and emotions when I was 10. I don't even know how to explain to you what I'm feeling right now because I don't understand. And I don't think a lot of our generation was provided the space to like figure out our feelings.
You didn't have no feelings.
What
is
feelings?
feeling?
You ain't
Like,
got no nerves.
Right.
You got no nerves, no feelings.
You don't have to
nothing.
pay no bills. You
child.
ain't got to do nothing. You're a child.
What you slamming doors for? You ain't got no beer around here?
Scared to slam a door. Hold on.
I was gonna slam it up.
Slamming no door.
Don't you hear me
I
talking
was
to
gonna
you?
roll my eyes and she could see them in the back of her head.
Okay.
Everything.
No, but I can't say every time me and my mama got in an argument, she would come to the door. She didn't apologize. She do now. She do now though, because me and her had a conversation like since I've been an adult about apologies. But she'll come to the door like, you want some meat?
Yeah. Or she'll start a
You want to
conversation.
go to the mall with me?
But like,
come on, baby.
Yeah, that's what she would do.
But then that transition into relationships
to
though. That transition into relationships when you end up not apologizing in a relationship, you just all of a sudden be like, me and my friends used to have a saying called, how do you like your eggs? So if you and your man got into an argument that night before and you just mad and everything, you might be texting your homegirl, be like, so you leaving him or you making eggs in the morning? Like, what's happening? So you didn't really apologize that night before, but now he done woke up, you in the kitchen. How you want your eggs?
We apologize.
We do too.
We apologize. We give apologies and we say, we basically, it's not just like I'm sorry. I'm sorry you feel that way. No, it's not.
No.
I'm sorry
because
that this caused you
did
to
this.
feel X, Y, Z.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
apologize.
big on apologies.
Me too.
And I
I'm big on
apologize
apologies.
in the moment. Like, if I'm sorry, I will say I'm sorry, say I was wrong.
No matter how mad you are.
Yeah.
Are we speaking about kids?
Still, man, we talking about like just in
Relationships,
relationships.
husbands.
Okay, I'm saying your husband, so you apologize.
I apologize to my husband. And
I
he
do too.
apologized to me.
Yeah. Because you are wrong. I feel like that's a big part of
Ooh,
marriage. Well,
baby, I ain't wrong.
you, I'm not wrong either. You know, but
How I handled this was wrong. I ain't
yeah,
wrong.
I'm not wrong. I'm
that's
never
why we have
wrong.
this
I'm a
saying.
Virgo.
It's
I'm
not
never
about
wrong.
what you say. It's just how about how you say it.
I meant when I had said it the way I said it.
Yeah,
but
but
I see how that was
it was,
inappropriate.
you know.
Right.
A
Right.
little disrespectful. I'm gonna reel that back in.
Right.
It's real that disrespect.
But you do have to admit and apologize. You know,
Absolutely. In the day of. Don't let it drag
sometimes I be wanting to be like, I ain't talking to you
at all.
I'm a Taurus, so I'm stubborn.
But I
so
think-
I carry everything on a bullet train to hell.
Oh
It's
no,
going
baby,
down.
you can't be like that. No
You
marriage.
really can't
Because
because
that marriage will go straight down the hill, just like you said.
It can. But that's probably why I don't want to get married.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
I
you
just
don't
know
want to
me.
have a partner, a relationship, nothing.
Yeah.
I
No
mean,
compromise.
I do. I can compromise.
Okay, that would be compromising, biting a bullet, and apologizing.
Yeah.
Not letting your
You know
relationship
you
go
hurt
straight to
somebody's
hell.
feelings.
I've
Yeah.
done it plenty of times.
So you should
So
have a problem.
and you'll continue to do it until you die.
Yeah.
You're just
I mean,
gonna-
but it would be like if I really had some feelings, I'd be like, okay, I will apologize for this time. Do it again, it's on you.
What?
That's me.
What do you mean have some feelings? Like if you feel like you were right about the situation?
No, if I was wrong and like, I really hurt you, I'm gonna apologize.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sorry that I did this.
Yeah.
Please forgive me, everything like that. Round 2, it's on you.
But what if
But
you
what
were
if-
wrong again?
Yeah.
Wrong-
So
I
you-
wasn't wrong the first time though. I'm apologizing because you got upset and I hurt you.
Wait, so you saying you were right the first time, but you
Because
But you
apologize.
apologize.
he said he's always right. Never mind.
He's right. This is why he's
Right.
single. He's right. This
Yeah.
is why. And
Single.
that's good. I love your
Single
self.
and on tour.
I love
Okay.
your self-awareness. I love your self-awareness. That's just what it is.
Man.
But then also, I'm probably one of the only, like, I'm not an arguer. Like, I'm just not. And that, but
I had to learn to stop arguing.
And
And
I
I be
just-
all in your face. Do you not hear what I'm saying?
No, I'm not doing that.
I can't.
This is and if you know my husband,
So-
You know my husband sitting there like this. You're foaming at the mouth. And I'm gonna need you to see.
I'm in the middle.
I'm imagining his
I'm
face.
in the
like,
middle.
You know Kevin.
Yeah,
I'm
I
talking about
can't.
nonchalant. Like he's not gonna argue with you. He's just be sitting there looking at me like,
What's
Him
his
and-
sign?
calm down, Aquarius.
Okay.
Him and
Think about
Brandon
him.
both. You know, Brandon
He's
not
like,
gonna say nothing.
he's like, can you calm down so we can have a conversation?
And that's me in arguments. I'm like, I will literally stop. A lot of arguments are things that could have escalated to an argument. We not getting there because one, I'm gonna either be like, "Oop, all right," so elevated voice tones, can't hear you. I need you to reel it back in. That's my favorite thing, like elevated voice tones,
Is
can't
that
hear
why?
you.
But now I do that thanks to therapy.
Okay.
Everybody go get a therapist.
Great
You know I
topic.
have one.
So y'all,
Yeah.
you are the therapist.
Every therapist needs a therapist.
That's
Every
true.
therapist
And I
needs a
and
therapist.
I definitely
Mine,
I'm in
she's
therapy.
amazing.
So you
She's amazing.
in marriage, like you guys use therapy together, couple marriage.
Yeah,
I
therapies?
go to therapy for myself.
Yeah, I went by
Okay.
myself.
Okay.
Mhm.
I do both.
You didn't do it with your husband.
He came like twice.
Okay, is that one of the reasons why you feel like it did not last?
What? Because he wouldn't do therapy?
Yeah, like you feel like therapy could have built y'all a little bit stronger
I
together.
have a list of reasons why that marriage did not work.
Okay.
I don't think therapy was just
Yeah,
it
because
was-
you
No,
gotta,
no,
you
no,
gotta
no,
want to do the work.
No, I'm
Yeah.
saying like if you feel like if he would have went to therapy with you, it
Even
would've
if he
helped-
would've
helped a
went.
little bit more.
Even if he would have went, he
You
gotta
gotta do
want
the
to do the work.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm like, even if he would have went, like the 2 times.
But
he
him
did-
going would have him wanting to start.
No, him going could have been just him appeasing what I wanted.
Mm.
That's not.
But see, that's the problem with the
Bingo.
women. You guys are just
Mhm.
automatically.
It's not an assumption.
assuming
No,
you're
it's not an
assuming-
assumption.
It
Like,
is.
see,
Because when you have to drag
It's common.
somebody to
Yeah.
something,
No, you mentioned it one time, like, hey, I want to go.
That's
therapy.
never happened.
And then he just said like, okay.
That didn't happen. That's not. how it
Okay,
went
I'm
down.
saying, but what if
Yeah.
he would have done that?
If he
though?
would have went, you have to know someone when you know somebody's personality.
Yeah.
Like I've dated people since then who willingly go to therapy,
Mhm.
like on their own. I for some reason I attract military men
Mm.
and like.
Mm-mm.
I mean, like serious,
They
like
do.
and like serious, but you know, a lot of them they go. The ones who I've dated have either been ordered to go because of
Mhm.
situations they experienced, or but they like it though. Like once they started, they like they're totally good. My ex-husband was not that kind of person. He just was not very open to it. Was not really trying to receive it, and would usually end up in combative conversations with the therapist,
Therapist,
as
yeah.
opposed to. And I'm just
As
chilling now.
opposed to working through
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
I
so
was gonna ask you. You said you're not an arguer, so was your past marriage was there a lot of confrontation?
no.
Oh,
Because I'm not an art, he isn't either.
Okay.
Like, so that can be good and bad because I said we probably one of the
a lot of
only-
situations probably got avoided.
they got
Oh,
unresolved.
yeah.
A lot of stuff got unresolved because
Swept under the rug.
I'm not gonna
Mhm.
argue. You not about to argue. I don't yell at me. I'm not yelling at you. That's not a thing. He had another like abusive side to him,
Mhm.
but we usually skipped from the argument. It went from like 0 to boom. Like it wasn't much in between. So like that's why
He
we're
wouldn't have lasted with me, baby. We would have been booming
yeah,
together.
that's why exactly. So it's like that's why we're not together. It's because of more so that, but it wasn't.
Who put that hole in the wall? His body.
You're dumb. We did have a hole in the wall though. That
It
was
would have been from his body.
that
though.
was me though. I slammed the door open. Basically, I pushed it open so hard that the knob went through the wall. Don't you hate when you're actually right in an argument, but now you did something so dumb that the dumb thing you did overshadowed the wrong
Right.
thing he did?
Not everything your fault.
That's all my fault.
Now,
Yeah.
now you saying, look at you, look what you did.
Exactly, because now I can't say
Acting
that.
crazy. Look
I
what
done
you
put a
done
hole in
did.
it. I
Just sit
done put a
yourself
hole in
down,
it.
foaming at the mouth.
Now I'm all at home
I had
Depot
to bring
trying
it down
to
a
get
couple
stuff.
notches.
But yeah, so it's like I'm not an arguing kind of person. Like the relationship that I said just ended. Well, not relationship. We were just in a deep part of dating. We hadn't like established like
Situationship.
waiting.
Yeah.
And it was like we was a step past that,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
wasn't like in a just a
Courting.
committed relationship. But even with that, the way it was like a few weeks ago, he had said something in a text and he hurt my feelings. I didn't really know how to respond to it, so I ain't saying nothing. And then he was like, "Wait, you're not gonna just not start not responding to the text message?" I was like, "I don't really have words. I don't really have anything to say." And he said, "I feel like I hurt your feelings." I said, "You did." And so he called me and was like, "Wait, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings." Da 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 da. What I said, and I said, "I know you didn't mean to hurt my feelings. That's why I didn't respond like you tried to hurt my feelings. That wasn't on purpose. You stated a fact that we had already discussed, but seeing it kind of caught me off guard, and my feelings were hurt." Yeah. And he was like, "Well, I'm so sorry." I said, "You don't have to apologize like that. My feelings are my responsibility, not yours." He was blowed. He said he has never had a woman just talk to him and have a conversation about that, and she wasn't like yelling or crying at the same time.
Yeah, see, but I feel like you are a really, really good communicator.
Yes.
I had to learn how to communicate. So that's why my arguments always escalated, because I felt like I can't even try to get across what I'm trying to say. Like, it ain't coming out how I want to say it, so I'm gonna yell.
So I'm just yelling.
Yeah, so then we get nowhere.
Then I'll just stop, because I'm like, if I can't get the words out right, I'm the queen of, we're gonna put a pin in that. Let's go to Longhorn. I really want some rolls. When I finish these rolls, we'll get back to this conversation. I may have formulated some words.
But then I have to learn that it's okay with tabling stuff if it's too heated in the moment. Table it and then come back to it later.
Right.
Because I'm not listening.
Because you both will be in a better headspace. Once you calm down.
Relationships and kids.
Yeah.
If my child doing something crazy, you know what? We gonna talk about this later. Because I'm not gonna respond right in this exact moment. But especially in relationships,
I had to learn that. I was a little toxic.
Yeah.
But
my parents
aren't toxic, but we are different. Baby. We had to learn how to argue together.
In a healthy way.
Brandon is just, Brandon. He's just not.
Kevin twin.
Yeah, basically. That's why they friends.
they be looking at you just like this.
Yeah, and Brandon would rather
you look crazy.
And that's me.
Brandon would rather say, "I'm sorry," and then just move past it. Wait, no, you can't move past this
because he's not validating how you feel.
I don't want this to happen again. So we need to talk about it, and I'm more so. But every time I used to try to talk about it, he's like, "You arguing," but I'm using this voice. This is not argument. I can show you, and for him, he doesn't like any confrontation.
So no matter how you say it,
baby, let me go and put him and Kevin in the same.
He don't like any confrontation. So when I'm trying to fix something, he's like, "Whoa, like what's wrong?" Like even if I'm looking a certain way, he's like, "What's wrong? Like what's going on? What's wrong?" Like, and I'm like, "No, I just want to talk to you. I'm not." He was like, "I don't want to argue." I'm like, "I'm not arguing. I want to fix this." Type of conversation.
We just have a different.
But you know what? He gotta also learn your cues, because I learned that. Because when I get to the point where I'm like, I'm elevating, Kim's like, "Okay, hold on, come here, hold my hand."
And see, he knows that because
I'm listening.
But I'm gonna stop.
Therapy.
I'm gonna stop because when I was younger, I was gonna fight you.
Oh yeah.
So, and I didn't want to fight my husband.
You didn't want him to know what them hands be like.
Right.
So if I'm getting up there, I'm gonna stop because I have to turn away. Like sometimes I was like, I can hit you right now. Like, and so I just have to stop.
I think in therapy, but like therapy had to teach me to be aggressive.
You never hit Brandon.
Look at her face, shock and all.
No. Because I decided I wasn't gonna do that.
He said he called on baby Kevin being a
not in
tussle.
no
Like,
argument. I hit him, but not in no argument.
Yes.
Because he gotta help himself. I'm a big girl.
Yeah.
He can't just let me beat on him.
You grew.
I'm a big girl. So he be in the defending himself, like, I can't let you beat on me.
Yeah. When I feel myself rising and getting frustrated, I just stop, and then that's when I have to walk away.
Yeah.
Think about, sometimes, girl, I get my journal and write, this is what I'm going to say. Like, my friends be like, you crazy. Because you be thinking, like, this is what I'm going to say. If he say this is what I'm saying.
Right.
And it's not going to go that way.
At all.
Sometimes it do,
It's
girl.
not going to happen at all.
Yeah.
So,
Sometimes it do.
you waited until you got married.
Yeah.
So everything you wanted was great. The sex.
It's my sex.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You don't know no damn different.
Oh, yeah.
What you get is what you get.
Like wonderful things are
And
happening.
if everything that's supposed to be happening is happening, it's happening. You good.
So it's like, well, I can't really ask you. So is marriage sex life better than previous, or like is it kind of the same?
I think it's a little better.
Yeah.
I feel like it's better.
Is it more intimate?
And the reason I say this because me and Brandon dated for like 5 years before we got married. So it's like, you know, it's good regardless. That's what I'm saying. But I guess
It's given.
the wedding night though,
Baby!
that's a different feeling.
Yeah.
So I would say yes. I would say yes. It
You
is
know where the
better.
Hard Rock Casino is? Baby, all in the window.
So I would say yes because when you're having sex before marriage, you're gonna get pleasure, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say after marriage because after that wedding night, I was like, that. Is this the same?
It's that anointing.
Yeah, it was the Lord.
And I don't know about you. I mean, so I was a virgin. So once it was like we moving in together, it's like we doing it 5 times a day.
Yeah,
Dang,
It's just like,
this hurts. It's a break. Cause you don't want us back.
it's a lot. It's a lot of excitement.
So
It is a lot of excitement. Then I'd be like, hold on, come on.
Yeah.
Number 6, let's go and do that.
yeah.
So, do you like?
This how I got pregnant 5 months later.
So, like, do you feel when it comes to you should have a very healthy sex life?
Oh yes, baby.
I was very okay with the fact that you were skipping over me.
No.
The minimum in marriage, the minimum was what a counselor tell you is twice a week.
Mhm.
That's the bottom. That's the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, we
Twice a
struggling.
week.
We probably mad with each other or something, or our schedules have gotten insane. If you say
Yeah.
if we hit 2 times a week,
Yeah, 2
Yeah.
times a week.
If
How's
it ain't-
divorce
if it ain't
sex?
got that
Let's
low.
not steer the wheel. How's
why
divorce
we're
sex?
assuming that I am having sex as a divorced woman, I could be
Celibate.
celibate.
Are
And,
you?
well, I was for a while.
Okay.
I was for a while.
Yeah. Are you saving yourself for the next marriage?
Definitely not.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Do you want to get married again?
And it's not even that. That's what somebody
What
else
did
said.
you
She
say?
said, try before you buy.
buy.
It's not even that because that mindset of this is gonna sound awful and wonderful in so many ways, awful and wonderful. But like, I think as women sometimes, a naturally aggressively sexual woman, you know, bad sex is very hard to come by because like if you can't quite getting it, like I got this, like I can quite get this going by myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like just
Yeah.
like I can handle this. You just enjoy, sir. Or whatever, like, so it's not necessarily, I haven't had like too many experiences in life with just awful sex. I've had 2. I've had 2 experiences in life who was absolutely horrible.
Oh,
like,
gosh.
just like,
Yeah.
horrible.
Because
Those,
you can train them.
those,
What you
that's
want.
what I was going to say. Like, me initially, because people have
Put
said
your
that.
hand right there.
Like, literally, I'm like, bad sex is probably at the bottom, almost to the bottom of the list of stuff. Like, this is fixable.
Yeah.
We can,
If you know what you like,
Yeah.
you're good.
This
Yeah.
is usually fixable.
Mhm.
But like I also have only had 2 relationships since I got divorced. And not even like those child. Like I have not had the best dating you know, situations because like literally one guy I dated, like we had known each other forever and he literally got engaged while we were dating. And that was
Well,
a
you know,
thing
that happened to my
that
cousin.
happens a lot apparently. Apparently it happens
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
That they just be in whole relationships and then all of a sudden boom
And
and
he
has
was gonna
and then
propose to
continue
me.
to
That
try to
happened
date
to me.
and then continue
That's what I did to somebody.
like see on the other side and then it's
That's
like
what I did to somebody.
and then she got engaged.
I
There you
was
go.
engaged. Boom. Just like that.
Ta-da! So it's
Look
his
at
face,
his
his face.
You want the story?
Whoa.
No,
it
it's just
went-
like,
You want
she
the
is a
story?
problem. She really is a problem.
You know, okay, let me tell you what happened. Because it's short and sweet.
You can-
Me and Kevin dated when I was in 11th grade. Then we broke up when he graduated because he was in 12th grade. So when he graduated, we broke up. You know, so I was dating.
Mhm.
Then my boyfriend at the time, when I graduated, we was on a break.
Mhm. And then
Me
you
and
break.
Kevin started talking again
Mhm.
when I'm in college. And I was like, hey,
What shall we do?
we on the break, baby. What's the break? I'm gonna go talk to that Kevin. So I was talking to Kevin, and then me and him got off the break because I posted Kevin, and he was like, "Wait, hold on, who is that? who is that guy right there?"
I
And I
can
was like,
imagine dating during social media.
Oh yeah,
Like
Oh,
young
God.
dating, I couldn't.
Yeah, it was a mess. Cause you know the Man Crush Mondays, and I posted Kevin being petty.
Ma'am.
Yes, I was being
You asked
petty.
for that smoke. You did.
And he calls, who is this you got on your I told my going, I was like, hold on, baby. We on a break.
That's all it is.
So you just trying to be on or off. Let me know. And he was like, he wanted to be on. So I was like, hold on. I gotta figure this out. So I had to go to the drawing board. So I just, one weekend, I came down into town because I was living in Panama City then, going to college in Panama. I came back down here, visited. I saw one day. Ooh, I said this boy name.
You did.
Whatever.
We gonna edit that.
And then I saw Kevin the next day. Oh, my papa was messy. He was like, the guy she had here yesterday was blacker than your shoes.
That's so messy.
He was messy. So I was like, yeah. So I went in the kitchen. So my grandma, I said, yeah, it's gonna be Kevin.
Okay.
And that was that. And then I was engaged to Kevin like a month later. And homie was mad. I was like, it's a
How
whole
you
poem.
be upset?
It's a poem out here on SoundCloud.
It
about
is
me.
what it is.
That's different.
Not a poem.
A poem.
Because there was some transitions. We were literally like still together.
No, these was
like,
transitions.
together.
Baby. I ain't just do it direct.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
right.
Yeah, no. So
It
that's what
was
I'm
some
saying. Yours
breaks.
is not. Yours is much better. Mine was
It was some
literally. He was here for my birthday, and we spent that week together, like weekend and whatnot. Which birthday? I don't know. We went somewhere fancy, like my friends. It was a whole big thing or whatever. And then like I went on a cruise like 2 weeks later. He got the car for us to drive down to where the cruise was leaving and stuff and whatever. I came back from the cruise, and his sister posted he had got engaged. Like,
Well, you. No,
it's a thing.
No, my friend watches this. I can't speak about that one.
So it was a thing, and then so that was one relationship, and then last year I was with somebody or whatever. So I spent, but that's the thing, being divorced, dating, and you single with 2 children. I was telling somebody last night, a good dad who is very involved in his child's life, who is single, is attractive. A good woman who is single with 2 kids is a liability.
No, it ain't, baby.
And it's like, it's not, but that, like, we look like a responsibility to a lot
That's
of
how
men.
society
That's
views
how-
it.
yeah.
And exactly.
And
so,
mates.
fortunately,
I mean, it is. Though.
and there are some amazing men who don't see it that way. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there are dating, and I've talked to my male friends. I have a lot of male friends. Talk about them, and they kind of agree because literally, I'm like, it's like I'm an instant family.
Yeah.
It's like if you really, really start to care about me and really want to be with me, it's not a transition of growing into a family. It's like, add water and stir. Family.
Yeah, it's not just you.
Yeah, it's not just
Right,
me. So
right.
it's a lot of men have that mindset of knowing, I'm finna take on a lot.
I think it's where we at, baby. Because a lot of men like stepdaddy season.
Well, and then also, because I'm the person who I just literally stopped talking to Sunday, or the first person I've dated in this city since I've been divorced. Everybody was somewhere else. And it worked, anybody who I just dated, and it was working out wonderfully. So, like, I have to learn how to date people who actually live here. That's different. That's a whole nother. She said, don't learn.
Don't do that.
Keep dating.
She found her husband here.
Keep
What?
dating.
But you found your husband here.
I wasn't here, though. I was
He's
in
from
Mississippi.
here, though.
I'm not from here.
Yeah, I was like, she's not from here.
Not from here. But listen, do you have a type? Are you going for the same type?
I think I don't have a type. And the one who just left literally fits absolutely not a nan. My friends joke that all my exes look like they could be like first cousins. These niggas look like they from the same family.
Oh, God.
And I never noticed it, but I feel like, I don't know if
So
that's...
that is a type.
But my thing
Right.
is, I would always say, do I have a type, or do a certain type of guy, I'm their type? Because I didn't ask myself out on a date.
Yeah.
The same type of dudes keep asking me out.
But what about the ones you're declining?
Where
Most
do you find
Most
it
guys
at?
don't.
Right.
I don't decline people often.
Oh.
Like, because I don't get asked out a lot. I don't get asked out a lot. It's just not a thing that I don't
Your
know.
demeanor that you see very
But you know
successful.
what, Ashley? What if
Girl,
it's
tell me.
because...
I think it's... No, never mind.
No, because I'm kind of going where you're going. Like, men may see her and be intimidated.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And it's the thing. So that's why even with the last guy, one reason we connected was because he had known me so long. And I had literally just told him a few weeks ago. I said, I like that I don't have to always be on when I'm with you. And I was like, I don't have to always be. And he said, great. He said, because everybody in the streets just know you great.
Yeah.
And all the things. And
Yeah.
I get to just like
Chill.
I don't get to just, a lot of guys who like date me or try to date me, they don't let me just chill. And I'm like, because they want the The
boss.
social media Ashley.
You want the boss Ashley.
And I'm like, I'm an actual person.
Right.
You get
Yeah.
this home video Ashley. That's what you get.
Meet me on my porch. Okay?
There we go. That's what we got.
So, if you guys got divorced, would you remarry?
I would.
Like,
Absolutely.
hell to the
The
yeah.
streets is calling, baby.
Mhm.
And I'm-
I'm just not a
Why you
single.
call it?
I'm not a single person.
It's not 19.
I'm not either.
Yeah.
And I need some man, baby. I need your
Yeah.
income and mine.
would you? But what if your kids felt affected by that? Like felt affected, like they really was like, I don't want you to
mean,
get.
but
I don't want
that's
to get a new person right now. Like, what if they felt like they're not ready?
Well,
for
what,
that.
how long? Like, my thing is,
I can have a time frame.
yeah.
I can have a time. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna jump into a marriage in
Right.
a year or
Right.
2 years
Right.
or 3 years even. Or maybe no, maybe 3.
Wait, yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
3. Maybe
Going
3.
too
Let
little.
backtrack. Maybe 2. You know, 2 is the max.
Okay.
And you
But-
have to read your kids because
Yeah.
I know, like, my ex-husband, he has a girlfriend and, like, she's adorable and my
Right.
kids love her. She
Yeah.
has kids or whatever. They can't wait for him to ask her to marry him.
Yeah.
Like, they pushing it. Like, you know, women, and she doesn't live here. They want to know, like, so do we get to go visit more? Like, 'cause they go visit up north where she lives and stuff. My thing is, my kids have never seen me with a man. Like, around a man. They ain't
Yeah.
never seen a man hold my hand. They never seen nothing.
Yeah.
So the dynamic is a little different of them knowing if I go on a date
Mhm.
or whatnot. Their dad has had a girlfriend like every year since
Mhm.
we split up. They've never seen it. So I think you also have to just read your kids. And they've
Mhm.
also never met anybody I was dating either.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like we ain't made it that far. They dismissed themselves
Yeah.
before we got to
Before
the point
getting
where you
married.
meet my kids.
But I'm
Yeah.
definitely remarried.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Would you want? I'm sure you guys would want a great co-parenting relationship, of course.
Absolutely.
Right. What if it doesn't turn out that way?
It's going to.
It would.
That's the only way we're getting married.
No, I'm talking about
The co-parenting
co-parenting relationship.
Oh, with like
With-
my
with
husband.
Brandon.
Yeah.
Like if you.
I would like that, but
Right.
if it didn't happen, then I just have to do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
I think it would.
I
I think it would for you too.
Yeah.
Just because of their
The type of guy
personality.
that
Yeah,
he
they
is, I
love-
feel like
They
he
don't
is.
want no drama,
Right.
and they're good dads.
Right.
Mhm.
So they would make it easy just because
And
of
Brandon ain't
how our
want
kids
nobody
are.
raising his
Hello.
children.
Right.
Hello. Exactly. They got it.
Yeah.
Nah.
I've
feel
dated
like
guys who have been like, know how active your ex-husband is with your kids, so I know you're not looking for like a dad for your kids.
Mhm.
But I've also had to kind of correct them on that because I'm like, no, I'm not looking. They don't need another dad. He's doing a great job.
You
I
here
was
for
like,
me, actually.
huh?
You're here for me, actually.
But you're here for me. But at the same time, if you're actually, because I'm a lot more traditional with marriage than people think I am.
They're gonna take interest in you and your kids.
Exactly. And a sense of if you actually lead my house, you think I'm not gonna want you to have a say so in how these kids are raised.
Yeah.
You think no, like if I'm respecting, because I won't. I will let you lead, but if you won't, once you let me, I got it. You will never be able to lead again.
Yeah.
So if I'm dating somebody, they have to have an interest in actually having input in raising these kids. Like yeah.
I feel like if my parents were to, like, it'll be a fine relationship. Yeah, I have a sister, and she's 4 years older than me, and she lives in, all I know, never met her. All I know is she lives in Detroit, and she's a lawyer.
Okay.
And so I don't know. But my dad, I know he paid child support and keep in contact with her, but as far as like anything else, like nothing. I mean, but it's not like a bad relationship though. Like I know they talk, and I know like she asks about me, I ask about her, but we just never met.
Mhm.
So I mean, like I would want the relationship with her, but if it doesn't happen, I won't be like upset.
Why don't y'all talk?
I don't know.
Because y'all grown now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Have you tried to reach out?
I've asked my dad for her number. No,
Is she on Facebook?
I don't have Facebook.
Can you get something? She got something?
I mean, I'm pretty sure she got like, social
Something.
media, but like all I have is Instagram and Snapchat, and I really don't know how to spell her name correctly.
Mhm.
But I haven't tried. I just kind of like, I'm not brushing it under the rug, but I'm also just kind of like, I'm not gonna keep pushing this when I've asked about her number, wanting to meet her. But I'm getting off sidetrack I'm talking about my parents being good co-parents because I feel like my dad was still a good co-parent with his
To
baby
her
mom. Yeah,
Okay.
like he did pay child support. He kept in contact. Like he helped her through college too.
Mhm.
So it's not like
Mm.
I don't think if my mom and dad were to split, like it would be something different because my dad would still be there.
And I only say that because my brother found me on Facebook.
Mm.
Like, we didn't know each other.
Mhm.
And then when I was pregnant with my daughter, actually, we got a nice, cute little picture of me and him because I didn't meet him until he sent me a message on Facebook. And him and our dad have the same names. It was so crazy.
Mhm.
But he sent me a message on Facebook and was like, I think you're my sister. I was like, what? So I knew he existed or whatever. We literally, think about it. I was a adult, married, and pregnant with my daughter before we ever met, and it was because he found me on Facebook.
Wow.
And it was just like, all I had ever heard was throughout life was that we looked alike, and we do. And I look like no one else in my family, which is crazy. So I only look like the person who I never met.
Wow.
So it's crazy. So, but him, like my mom and my biological dad didn't co-parent at all. Like he just chucked us the deuces, and we didn't. And it was crazy. His stepkids, when I was little, even went to school with me and my sister, and he would come there to pick them up and not see us. Like, it was crazy.
Wow.
So we would see him picking up other kids. It was crazy. So all that kind of stuff feeds into the kind of parent I am, and then like the selectiveness of who I end up marrying or who I date. Like, if I see you don't, especially if I meet a guy who has kids, and a question I'll ask is like, so, like, how often do you see your kids?
Yeah.
If it's like
every so often,
like once a quarter or whatever, like I can't process that because I'm looking through the lens of my ex-husband who literally sees his kids all the time. I can't imagine what that's like unless your baby mama ratchet and she won't let you see the kids. Why
Or
are
they
you
like
not?
in a different state.
But I'm even, and I know this is unrealistic, but I'm even funny acting about that because I promise you, like, if for some reason I had to move today, I could see my ex-husband moving. He's not gonna let me just move his kids to California. You know what I'm saying? If he could find, he'll at least start looking for a job. He's gonna start looking for a job. And I've always said I would never willingly move them away from him. For like, unless it was something I couldn't absolutely avoid. So like
He's just bred differently.
It's different.
He's a different type of man.
He's a different type when it comes to family, and he didn't even have that growing up. Like his dad wasn't around, and he's from a whole other country. His mom moved to the States, and the kids, they were still down in Central America for a long time. So it's like he didn't even have that growing up, but he's very adamant about being involved. So if I'm dating a guy who already has a child, I love to see them super involved with their kid. Like, I'm never gonna be the type, why you at her house again? His son live there. Shut up. What you talking about? Like, I need you to calm it down, ma'am. Just get it together. So yeah, I think that it definitely affects the way that I date. It affects the way that I expose my kids. Like I said, I don't expose them to people that I date until I know it's super serious. Because like, yeah, me and the guy was just weird. Like, it was really good, like emotionally or whatever. But it didn't work out. I'm not trying to introduce them to somebody else yet again. Like, we're not gonna have no revolving door situation.
Right.
Well, I want to say thank y'all so much for like enlightening me, because now I may want to get married and have kids.
Oh,
so lying.
Because now I may want to have children. Oh my gosh. But no, for real, Paris Parker, Ashley Danielle, and Kitty Miller, thank you so much for coming to RealiTea. I hope to see y'all again. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself too.
It's
fun.
And I really cannot wait to do another episode, but which we are back this Saturday. So you guys, thank you for tuning in, and thank you guys for sticking with RealiTea, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.